Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn how to use fiber optic links to extend our transmission distance. A fiber optic link is different from traditional transmission methods. Usually like PoE or Ethernet transmission, they transmit through Ethernet cables, which is basically copper wires twisted together, and they use electric signals to transmit the data. Usually this is limited to 100 meters. Even if we get the help from some devices, we can all go all the way up to 800 meters. After that, any other methods will be helpless. So if we want to reach like in the unit of kilometers of distance, we would have to choose fiber optic links. Well, fiber optic links is using fiber optic cables as a transmit material, and we will transmit the data as optic signals, which is basically lasers bouncing off the walls of the inner tube of the fiber optic cable. In this case, you imagine they can transmit fast and far away. This is why mostly when we're aiming for long distance, high speed transmissions, we would choose fiber optic cables. Although traditional devices which provide the data or receive the data, like IP devices, they work with digital signals. But the transmission is optic signals. In this case, we have to introduce two really important components in this fiber optic link setup. So first is this little box here. There are usually two kind of models. This is our media converter, our fiber media converter. This helps us convert optical signals to digital signals or digital signals to optical signals. So basically converting them around and around. Depends on which side of it is on the fiber optic cable. And this one is 1000 megabits per second converter. This one and this one is 100 megabits per second converter. And these you can see in this switch, this PoE switch, we have two of these ports which look similar like the ports on the converter. These are meaning that this has a converter integrated in it. And what are these ports for? They don't look like any Ethernet cable ports. These are for the small form factor pluggables, the SFP modules here. These you can think of them as a really small component, a really small module, which outputs the signal, like shoots out the laser beams, which transmit fast and far. So usually this will go as a group with this converter. So it can help us, convert the signal and then transmit it as optical signal, or receive the optical signal and convert it back to digital signal. So usually we'll see these two in a group, and this will one of each of these will be on one end of the fiber optic cable. So that's pretty much it. You just have to remember the SFP module and the converter is a really important part of the fiber optic link. So once you have known all the parts we need for setting up a fiber optic link, let me show you guys how easy it is to set it up. So of course we will need our Ethernet cable, and then this is our fiber optic cable. This is a pre-terminated cable, so we don't have to kind of connect fiber optic cables because they aren't like Ethernet cables. They require more precise, delicate work, need more devices to help us. A lot of instruments are involved. Pre-terminated fiber optic cables will be really easy for us. It makes our lives easier because all we have to do is plug the fiber optic cables to the SFP modules and to the converter. So first, use one Ethernet cable and plug it to one of our converters. And you can see right here, our converter runs on a 12 volt direct current. So this is what I've got here, 12 volt direct current. Make sure you always operate it safely because it's electricity. And you can see the lights are on. And I'm going to plug this end of the Ethernet cable to our NVR here. Once this is plugged in, I'll take one end of our fiber optic cable and I'm going to choose stream A. these have to be corresponding. So if I choose A right here, I'm going to have to choose A on the other side. And pick any other SFP module here. Insert the fiber optic cable into the SFP module, and then insert the SFP module to our converter. So it should look like this. Then the second converter on the other end, imagine this is like thousands of meters away. We're going to choose A as well and take our SFP module, insert the fiber optic cable to it, and then insert it to our converter. And same thing, we need a power source for it. So 12 volts direct current plus Ethernet cable. Since this is not providing power for our IP camera right here, so we connect it to our IP camera. Since there is no power provided, we will need a power DC adapter for our IP camera as well. So now our IP camera has power going through it. You can see on the indicator here. And now let's just wait for a second and see what happens. We should be receiving an image on our screen, and yes, there it is. I'll wave in front of the camera for you guys to see it's a live video feed. And yes, the connection is successful. Alright, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them at the section below. Thanks guys for watching today, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.